What is going on, you guys? Welcome back for another Witcher 3 video. So in this video, I want to go over my personal top 10 favorite decoctions. The ones I find myself using the most, right? And to be honest, if you've played this game numerous times and you know what I'm talking about when it comes to decoctions, you probably will agree with me. Now, there are some decoctions I'm not going to list here that are still really good. These ones I just feel are my favorite that I find myself using more often than not. But I will say this. It will depend on, if you're running light, medium, or heavy armor. Now, if you are trying to go for a sign build, then you might want to use certain decoctions that will help regenerate stamina, right? Or if you're going for light, heavy attack, certain things like that, there's going to be certain decoctions to use. Now, we are going to go over, some of these decoctions that will play that role. So if you guys are new here and you want to support the channel, consider subscribing, you guys. If you like the video, a thumbs up will be appreciated. But I also want to add at the very end of the video, I have a bonus decoction. Now, I know this is YouTube. You could skip all the way to the end and check it out. I will put timestamps down in the comments so you guys can check it out. I'm just like you guys are. I like to go to a YouTube video and find out where all this crap is and get right to the point, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So let's just jump right into my personal top 10 decoctions. Alright, so I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible, but there's a lot to go over. Anyway, first up, nightwraith decoction. Now, to craft this decoction, you will need the nightwraith mutagen. You can find this mutagen from killing any nightwraith. Some may drop it, some may not. It's all RNG, guys. This goes for all mutagens needed to craft decoctions from monsters. But if you're farming for mutagens, just find out where a certain creature / monster is, save before proceeding if you can. Now kill it. Now, if it doesn't drop the mutagen, then reload the game before the fight and try again, as you see I did here with acquiring the troll mutagen. Because after you kill certain to most monsters, they will not respawn again. You won't be able to farm by meditating a couple days and then trying again. They fixed this in a past patch. But the rest of the ingredients are your basic crafting ingredients for the most part, and is the same for all other decoctions besides their respected mutagen needed. Now, looking at the nightwraith decoction, it has 50 vitality, right? So Geralt's maximum vitality is increased with each foe killed. This increase lasts until he meditates or fast travels. This is a great decoction to use if you want to farm vitality, meaning you will get 50 vitality with each foe slain. So you can stack up your maximum vitality as long as you don't meditate or fast travel. This is great for preparing to face high-level monster or boss. If you're being one-hitted by them, pop this decoction, farm some enemies, help build up your vitality, which will help give you a fighting chance when facing that monster or boss. This will help out a lot if you're running cat school gear light armor. I see a lot of people say they get one hit in light armor and can't take much damage. This will help boost that vitality up for you. Now, you can also find this decoction, you guys. It can be looted from any random lootable source throughout the game, but you can find it from a herbalist in White Orchard as possible reward from a quest on Death's Bed. The next decoction I have for you guys is the ekimmara decoction. Now, crafting this decoction will take acquiring the ekimmara mutagen with other basic crafting ingredients, right? So same as the nightwraith, to get the ekimmara decoction, you will need to find and kill an ekimmara to get the mutagen to drop. You can find an ekimmara in Dragon Slayer's Grotto. Same time you are looking for the Griffin school gear if you haven't picked it up yet. 2 birds, 1 stone, right? Now, for this decoction, it gives 10% vitality. Damage dealt to foes regenerates vitality. This is great for help keeping your health regeneration going at almost all the time during a fight without having to worry about using all of your swallow health potions. You can find this decoction through the world in random lootable objects or by reading the book My Evening with a Vampire. Loot those bookshelves, people. I'm telling you, there's so many books you can find and read, and they have the recipes for certain decoctions in them. Now, up next is the Ancient Leshen decoction. To craft this decoction, you will need to acquire the Ancient Leshen mutagen. There are a couple of places you can find an Ancient Leshen. One being Quest Heart of the Woods in the Skellig Isles or Arnscroon Castle Ruins. This decoction will regenerate 2 stamina in combat, Each sign cast increases stamina regeneration for the remainder of the fight. I love facing leshens, by the way. I just love their creepy vibe and their darkness they bring, and you know, they can be a challenge at times if you're not ready or if you're under leveled, but if you prepare and you use Igni, you should be able to literally melt them with Igni. You can find the ancient leshen diagram through the world from random lootable objects. Now, up next is the Fiend Decoction. You will need to acquire the Fiend mutagen. You can find a Fiend from the end quest line, Return to Crookback Bog, or a contract, Missing Son on Ard Skellig. Now, this is one of my most used decoctions. I'm not gonna lie, it really comes in handy. This decoction increases the amount of weight the Witcher can carry without being overburdened. It gives you 20 maximum inventory weight. This is great because some players spend a skill point in the brown skill tree, or yellow, I say it looks like brown, so people call it the yellow skill tree, on a perk to give Geralt more inventory weight. Save that skill point, you guys, in that spot in your tree. I know you can take it out of your tree and put something else in there, but save that point. You can use this at any time, this decoction. You know, as you upgrade Roach's saddlebags, you won't need to use that perk as much. Just pop this decoction and you're good to go. Trust me, I hoard and loot as much as possible, and this helps give me a little extra I need if Roach can't reach me to find the decoction. It can be obtained throughout the world from random lootable objects or certain herbalists in the Skellig Isles. Up next is the Troll Decoction. This is, my opinion, is a must-have. At almost all times during combat, it is well worth it. To craft this decoction, you will need a troll mutagen. Now remember, after you kill them, they will not respawn. After that update, they did it so you cannot farm trolls. As you saw in the beginning video, here it is here. I'm farming a troll. The same one, I did not get the mutagen at first, so I had to reload the game and come back, and you just keep doing it until it finally drops for you. It shouldn't take too long to acquire it. The troll decoction, you know, is a really good one, and like I said, it's worth having. Now looking at it, it has 100 vitality regeneration pretty much outside of combat, and during combat it has 20 vitality regeneration. Now it regenerates vitality during and outside of combat. To find this troll decoction diagram, it can be acquired throughout the world from random lootable objects or purchased from the herbalist Tomeria in White Orchard. Now, next on the list is the Water Hag Decoction. To craft this decoction, you will need the Water Hag mutagen, which are plentiful to find throughout the world, usually nearby swamps or bogs. Best place I would say to go would be to Velen by Crookback Bog. This decoction gives 50% increased damage. Damage dealt is increased when vitality is at its maximum. This is hands down one of my favorites because as long as your health is at its max, you will dish out 50% increased damage. So all the previous mentioned decoctions about vitality regeneration or increasing maximum vitality can be used along with this decoction to help make sure your health stays at a maximum to help get that extra 50% increased damage, as well as keeping you in the fight. You see a lot of these decoctions can go hand in hand and work well with each other. I recommend going into your green skill tree if you plan on using multiple decoctions and spending some skill points into perks that will allow you to use multiple decoctions and increasing your toxicity level. To acquire this diagram to craft the Water Hag decoction, it can be found throughout the world from random lootable objects or purchased from a herbalist in White Orchard. Next, archgriffin decoction. To craft this decoction, you will need the archgriffin mutagen. There are a couple locations you can find the archgriffin. One is a contract griffin from the Highlands, contract creature from Oxenfurt Forest, and the hardest one, if you're up to it, is on Snidhall Isle in Skellig, one of the toughest monsters in the game. Now this decoction reads, if any stamina is available, strong attacks consume all of it and reduce the struck foe vitality by 5% after their normal damage is calculated. This is a great decoction for players that maybe are running a heavy tankier build that want to dish out heavy hits a lot. Why I say heavy armor builds, because if you get caught swinging a slow heavy hit, you'll be able to take it, right? If you were to be caught by a heavy hitting enemy with light armor, you're most likely going to get wrecked or splintered of health left pretty much after you get hit by him. Now, the diagram to craft the archgriffin decoction can be acquired throughout the world from random lootable objects. That's the only way I've ever found it, and I have not found it in a store. Not saying Some of these can't be, but after doing much research and playing the game, that's the only way I find some of these objects are just through random lootable objects. Now, up next is the Reliever's Decoction. To craft this decoction, there is no one specific monster mutagen needed like the others, but you will need 1 essence of Wraith, 4 lesser red, 4 lesser blue, and 4 lesser green mutagens with 5 dwarven spirit. Now, once crafted, this decoction does a lot against wraiths, especially against the more challenging ones. Really worth it. And when you get ambushed against 4 to 6 wraiths at once, you can definitely use this decoction. It will really go a long way. It's one of my favorites because they can be quite tricky, those wraiths. You know what I'm saying? Now, to acquire this diagram randomly throughout the world from lootable objects. Now, up next is the chort decoction. To craft this decoction, you will need to acquire the chort mutagen. You can find the diagram and find the mutagen by completing the contract Mysterious Tracks. The chort is definitely a cool monster to face with its mechanics. But up next is the wyvern decoction. To craft this decoction, you will need to obtain a wyvern mutagen. Once crafted, this decoction reads, each blow landed increases attack power until either the fight ends or damage other than that from toxicity is taken. Now, 1% attack power for each blow landed. This is a really great decoction because if you find yourself facing heavy boss or a monster that takes a lot of hits, this can really stack up to let you dish out some high attack power. This decoction is great for a build like Cat School Gear. It's light armor, it has high attack power for its stats, plus you're able to move around fast and get more blows landed before the enemy even knows what the hell hit them, which will allow you to build up your attack power fast. Now, this diagram can be found throughout the world in random lootable objects. So now I have one more bonus decoction for you guys, and I think is really good and can be OP as hell, especially against higher level tough monsters or bosses. That is the succubus decoction. Now, to craft this decoction, you will need a succubus mutagen, and there are only 2 succubi in the game. To find them, you will have to do the contract Deadly Delight in Novigrad in the quest Practicum of Advanced Alchemy. I never kill the succubi because they are harmless and don't deserve to die, to be completely honest with you. I just don't feel that way when I play them. But if you do kill one or both, you can craft this decoction, which will allow your attack power to grow over the course of a fight until reaching maximum threshold. Your attack power will grow 1% every 2 seconds to a maximum of 30% at 1 minute. To learn how to craft this decoction though, you can find the diagram from a random lootable objects or find and read the book Journey to the End of the World. And that is also where you can learn a couple other decoctions by reading that exact same book. Or you can travel to Trold and there will be a herbalist that sells the recipe and you guys can pick it up from there. But anyway, the succubus decoction is actually a really good decoction. I just don't ever really kill the succubi, and it's definitely worth getting, but that's just how I play. I have played evil ways and I've played that way and killed them and got it, but for the most part it's not something I desperately need. So when I play the game, I always play that kind of like good guy, I'm the good Geralt Witcher, I guess you should say. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys. I hope these decoctions helped you guys out in what you may think or want to try and use, because I know there's a lot of them and I've had a few people ask me like, hey, what are some of the better decoctions? So I know this video has been extremely long as is. You guys can follow me on Twitter at HamboneGaming. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them down in the comments. I'll be sure to help you guys out. Like I said, these are my top 10 personal preference. I think these are some of the best. A lot of people I played The Witcher 3 with, or they played and we talked about it, they agree for the most part. That's pretty much what they use as well. So let me know what you guys think, and I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I will catch you all in the next one. Later.